Now, Hype never explained why he made Aaliyah fly to the Bahamas despite having all the necessary resources in Miami, including a high-quality green screen setup and beautiful beaches. Aaliyah's ex, Dame Dash, later revealed that Aaliyah was scared when she saw the plane they gave her and told her not to go.
When she actually saw the plane, she, we had the Blackberries, and she said, "I don't like this plane." And I was like, "Well, don't get on it." And she was like, "Well, I got to because I got work to do."
What's also weird is that, according to Dame, Lenny Kravitz offered Aaliyah his private jet, but Hype took it from her.
Lenny Kravitz had offered her a jet, and then Hype had took the jet. So that's what really pissed me off about the situation when I heard about that.
But the most shocking piece of the puzzle is found in investigative journalist Kathy Ian Doley's 2021 biography of Aaliyah. While talking to eyewitnesses, Ian Doley discovered that on the last day of the shooting in the Bahamas, Aaliyah refused to board the plane that was supposed to take her back to Miami, and she returned to her taxi, telling her team she had a headache. However, according to eyewitness Kingsley Russell, whose family operated the taxi company, a member of Aaliyah's entourage entered the taxi with her and gave her a pill. Shortly after, Aaliyah lost consciousness and Russell saw how they physically carried her onto the plane. Just moments after takeoff, the plane crashed about 200 feet from the runway, killing Aaliyah and 8 other people on board. If this incident was really planned, it begs the question who had something to gain from Aaliyah's death. Well, according to some industry insiders like Jaguar Wright, both Jay-Z and Beyonce had substantial interests in Aaliyah being gone. Jaguar claimed that Jay was mad Aaliyah chose Dame over him, and that's why he allegedly threw Dame under the bus.
Look at how he did Dame. Like, I don't give a if you wanted to get away from your homie, if you wanted to get away from your partner, but to do it the way he did it, it's malicious. But maybe that was because he was fucking the girl that didn't want you.
Jaguar also pointed out that as soon as Aaliyah died, Jay-Z took producer Rich Harrison from A. Marie, another artist who was a threat to Beyonce, and suddenly Beyonce and Jay-Z were on top.
They were having a hard time taking her solo. And then Aaliyah died. And then they brought Rich Harrison in, and you know, kind of think it's crazy right now. She liked posing with him in pictures for Page 6. Aaliyah didn't. She fell in love with Dame. And Aaliyah's gone, and, you know. You have to start asking yourself questions after being in this business for this long. If you're a halfway intelligent person, when do you start questioning how lucky some motherfuckers keep getting?
Another interesting detail is that years later, Beyonce and Jay-Z enlisted Hype Williams to direct their video for Drunken Love, and they filmed it in a suburb of Miami, the same city where Aaliyah filmed her very last music video. Besides that, the opening scene of Drunken Love shows Beyonce carrying a trophy with a female figure on top, which some fans interpreted as Beyonce saying she eliminated all her competition. And then we also can't forget that there were a lot of rumors back in the late 90s that Jay preyed on Aaliyah just like his former friend R. Kelly. R. Kelly met Aaliyah when she was just 12 through her record-producing uncle, Barry Hankerson.
Listen, people, y'all gonna love me today, man. I told y'all that Tupac distraction, that's all it was. We love Tupac. We love Pac. Okay, but listen, here's what the government did. On October 3rd, 2023, the government put in law that all indigos have to be paid $132,000 a year. It's $2,500 a week. It's $11,000 a month, right? Okay. Remember that on October 3rd, right? Remember the 4th? They had the blackout. They had the TV blackout, right? They blacked out the TV so nobody won't broadcast it, so you wouldn't know. They blacked out your phone so they couldn't share that information with you. Huh? That's why they did the blackout on October 4th, because on October 3rd, remember I told you, they gave you back your land in July of 2022 because they took the word African out the peace treaty and they took the word Negro off your birth certificate. So that tied you back to this land as the original Indigos, right? So now what they did October 3rd was they set up an account to where every black or Indigo person in America files for their real identity back under the 1924 Snyder Act will get a check a year for $133,000. It's $2,500 a week, $11,000 a month. I promise you, it's called the Snyder Act. I'm gonna show you some people that's already getting the check So what we have to do is figure out how to get this app or figure out how to get this form and fill it out. Fill this form out. Once you fill this form out, they're going to give you an ID that says Indigo, right? Indigo. Not driver's license, not no United States ID, none of that shit. It's going to say Indigo, right? I'm going to post a video where a lady's already doing it and she already getting the bread, bruh. They're already getting the bread. They got to pay you. The government has to pay you $2,500 a week, $11,000 a month, $134,000 a year. I'm going to show it to you. But in the meanwhile, share this fucking video with your people. Go on Google and look up the Snyder Act. I looked it up last night. Look it up on a laptop, because once you look it up on a laptop, read the top. Go to the middle of the screen. They got arrows there. It's going to say certain, click on those arrows and read each one of them. And it's going to tell you how much you're going to be getting paid. Lord have mercy. Let's go, people. You on the clock.
To my people who was naturally born with melanin in y'all skin, y'all are going to want to hear this shit. They are now getting melanin injections.
And TikTok this for entertainment purposes only.
We have been darker.
I was thinking when you sat down hot, you're looking very pale. This is all well and good. I mean, you have the, as you say, you've got the messy tanning products, and then you try the sunbeds.
Yeah.
And then there's the injections.
Look at her.
So this was your brother, wasn't it?
Yeah, my brother.
So explain how this happened.
He just came in one day and he was a completely different colour, and we were like, what actually happened? And he was like, it was tannin injections, and then obviously Ben had to try them.
I don't have that much time on my hands to go outside and enjoy the beautiful weather lately, and I want to be tan by summer, so this is the safest and fastest way to achieve that. So this is my Melanotan vial. It'll come in the mail and it looks like this. It does have to be refrigerated. We also will provide you with alcohol prep swabs and insulin needle. So you'll take the alcohol swab, wipe off the top, just so it's sterile. Uncap the top, you have a fine needle.
This is what we're doing, gang. We got melanin injections now. Yeah. Entertaining. Very entertaining. Let me know what y'all think about these melanin injections in the comments. Like or follow for more wisdom and stay tuned.
We're in Tampa Bay, Florida, and this is Shumin Lee. Now, he is the downstairs neighbor that was injecting something into the apartment, allegedly chemicals. They don't know what yet. They're waiting for the testing to come back. But the baby was vomiting and constantly getting sick. Umar Abdul, his eyes were burning. Now, Mr. Lee right here, he was arrested on numerous controlled substance and battery charges, y'all. He was actually a former PhD student in the chemistry department at the University of Florida. And this all was done because of the noise complaint. And this is Umar Abdul, whose family was affected. They had a baby last year, and that's when Mr. Lee started complaining of the noise. This is just so heartbreaking.
It is extremely scary.
Umar Abdullah says it's very difficult to talk about the last few months. He says it started with complaints from a downstairs neighbor over noise.
So after my daughter was born in August last year, his complaint, like footstep complaint, drawer closing.
But escalated to this.
I installed a hidden camera outside because we were suspecting someone is basically tampering our place from outside. And then we caught our neighbor injecting something through our door.
He says a friend noticed an unusual chemical odor in their home in May. They checked the appliances, hoping to determine the source of the smell, but couldn't. A month later, Umar says his eyes started to burn and his daughter was coughing and throwing up. He says the smell had returned, so he checked the water heater nearby, finding a strong odor.
I was bending down. I sniffed all through that place. And
after replacing it, Umar says the odor and discomfort returned. This is when he set up the hidden camera.
On June 27th, I found that our neighbor is coming with a syringe. You know, he's pulling something from a vial and then he's injecting through our entry door. If we could not have found that incident on the camera, probably after a few days, we might have been just dead.
He called police, and records show Zooming Lee was arrested and charged with multiple counts of battery and possession of a controlled substance. The report identified him as a USF student. A spokesperson from USF says he is no longer enrolled as of this summer. He was a PhD student in the chemistry department.
If people use their knowledge, this extreme knowledge, to harm people, I mean, they can be even more dangerous.
Umar says he was told Zooming is in the process of relocating, but they're still very uneasy, never thinking their home would become a place they now fear.
I can never expect a neighbor, I mean, I can never imagine to expect something like that happen to anyone. I wish no one else would have to go through a situation like this ever in their life.
Umar says several agencies are now investigating, waiting for final lab reports to determine the exact substance that was injected, but he says they were hazardous chemicals. The family is hoping to relocate, but as we report all the time, housing isn't the easiest to find right now.
I can't be the only one who just realized that when they say woke, they're interchanging that for black. What? How did I not hear it before? How did I not realize that's what they were saying this whole time? That's what Ron DeSantis was saying. Hold on.
We fight the woke in the legislature. We fight the woke in the schools. We fight the woke in the corporations. We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. Florida is where woke goes to die. Where woke goes to die.
I think they mean black.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that shit all makes sense. Remember that whole dog whistle stuff? Blow the whistle. Blow the motherfucking whistle. I am just dumbfounded at this point. They have figured out a way to say what they want to say without saying exactly what they want to say. And I didn't even pick up. Did you pick up on it? Because I didn't pick up on it. Wow, how did I miss that? Damn. That's deep. Stay woke, y'all.
In order for me to sign my deal, I had to sit down at a table with Clive Davis, and they had to look at Clive and say, "What do you think about this?" And he was like, "Oh man."
I said there was a party at Clive Davis's house, and that's where the story began.
And then I had to go to like a bunch of parties with Clive Davis.
Looks like today's the day we're diving deep into the wild world of Hollywood rumors and the whole rumor mill scene. This corner of the entertainment universe has seen it all, from insane parties to hidden romances. You know Clive Davis, the legendary music record producer? Well, he's practically a party icon, having hit up some of the wildest bashes in music history.
I know some guys who worked personally with Clive Davis, and they had to leave him before they heard him.
And oh boy, the secret saga between Clive Davis and Diddy, which folks have been speculating about forever, has finally come out of the shadows. Speaking of Diddy, that guy's stacked up quite the fortune in the music biz. Remember Bad Boy Records? Yeah, that's his brainchild. He's teamed up with big names like Notorious Big and Usher, and his business skyrocketed in no time.
But he got that catalog. And he's been making money off of it, and he bought that.
Now let's talk about the freshest music industry drama. Ever wondered how a young musician hit it big so darn fast? Well, his close ties with music industry bigwig Clive Davis might just hold the key. You know Clive, the record producer extraordinaire. Nowadays, he's making waves for something a bit different than his usual musical genius, his love life. Turns out Clive, who's been married a couple of times before with no luck, decided to take a soul-searching journey to figure out if he was into guys as well. He opened up about his quest after his second marriage went down the drain, wanting to know if attraction was more about the person and less about their gender. Surprise, surprise, he discovered that he could indeed be attracted to men. Even though he's still quite the catch, he embraced this newfound side of himself. Fast forward to 1990, and Clive decided to settle down with a male doctor. They were a monogamous item until 2004, when things wrapped up. And let's be clear, Clive never felt any shame for embracing his feelings and attractions. I never felt shame, no. I felt puzzled. The subject of bisexuality really needs much more discussion. It's a status that does exist. Davis is playing it coy about who his current partner is, but it's pretty darn clear that Diddy has become a major fixture in his life. They're popping up together all over the place, showing up at events and flaunting their alleged gay identities, and honestly, it's screaming close connection loud and clear. Now, While the buzz about Diddy's music industry conquests has been buzzing around for ages, the fact that they've been together for a solid 5 years is like a spotlight on those rumors. Davis has let slip that his partner is basically his +1 at events, and they're jet-setting side by side, which really hints at a pretty tight bond. They haven't come out and said it directly, but their actions and being thick as thieves are speaking volumes. And guess what? People on the internet are all over this.